Hey guys, it's Brian with Retired at 40, and I normally post on Sundays, but I'm going to take this opportunity, just given the kind of climate that we've had lately, to release a video early because I want you to get a jump start on freeze drying and kind of get your food stash put together if you can. Today I'm going to give you about 7 or 8 of the best things you can freeze dry that will get you the most bang for your buck as far as nutrition, vitamins, protein, all that good stuff for a low price tag, and you can stockpile these foods real quick. So without any further ado, here's the video. Hey guys, it's Brian with Retired at 40. It seems like you cannot go anywhere or do anything without hearing about
coronavirus.
The coronavirus.
The coronavirus. But I think we can all agree that at this point, it is definitely a thing and we should probably do something about it. So if you're watching this video, you either have a freeze dryer or at least on the fence of buying one, and nothing justifies the use of a freeze dryer like this coronavirus thing. This is the exact reason why a freeze dryer is something that you want. So the freeze dryer is ideal for stockpiling food, and you can stockpile food very quickly. So today I'm going to show you the best foods for the money. So when you're stockpiling foods in the case of an emergency, you want to stretch your dollar as far as you can. You want foods that are going to give you the most vitamins, nutrients, minerals, and proteins for as little as possible. So I'm just going to get right into it. I'm going to start right off by saying if you don't have a freeze dryer and you're on the fence, I'll put a link down in the description that'll take you to Harvest Right. All the information you need is in there. I also have a Facebook group that you can join, and you can ask any questions that you have before purchasing. So it just so happens that all of the foods that I'm going to mention today freeze dry really well, and the first one is broccoli. Broccoli contains almost every nutrient that you need, and it's full of antioxidants. You can also add it to almost every dish. Next on the list are potatoes and sweet potatoes. These guys are great for brain and immune system health, and they're high in fiber. And just like broccoli, you can add these to almost anything. Number 3 on the list is tomatoes. They're high in vitamin C. They help reduce cholesterol. They have an antioxidant called lycopene, which helps protect your cells. It helps protect against disease, and it reduces inflammation. Carrots are another great bang for your buck. They're high in vitamin A, they're high in vitamin C. They help with your immune health, and they're also high in fiber. You'll notice that the first 4 things are vegetables. That's because your mom was always right when she told you to clean your plate. So the next few things I'm going to mention are considered grains and legumes. And the first thing that comes to mind with grains is brown rice. And we just did a video on brown rice, so if you want to see that, I'll put a link down here, and then I'll put a card right here. So just like the previous items, rice is very high in minerals and nutrients. A lot of bang for your buck here. The next items I would stock up on are beans. And I'm going to do black beans and garbanzo beans. Beans can be had for about $1 per pound. They have lots of vitamins and minerals, and they're an excellent source of plant-based protein. 15 grams of protein in 1 cup of black beans. And you'll notice that there's no meat on my list. That's because the value you get from meat is quite a bit less than what I've mentioned so far. Alright, last on my list is edamame. And edamame is a little bit more expensive per pound than a lot of the previous things, but this contains almost every trace mineral that the body requires. And just 1 cup of edamame, which is about half this bag, contains 17 grams of protein. So I'm going to start getting these prepared to get freeze dried. I've already got a tray of frozen garbanzo beans, also known as chickpeas. And next I think I'm going to do the broccoli and the sweet potatoes, and those need to be blanched first. So to blanch these, all you need to do is just give them a bath in some hot water, usually for a couple minutes. 3 minutes is fine. It just helps preserve them just a little bit better. And then I'm also going to blanch these carrots real quick right after I cut them in half, just so the freeze dryer can pull the moisture out of them. So we eat a lot of vegetables and we do a lot of freeze drying, and one thing that I've really started making sure that I do is I do all the work up front as far as the cutting, because when I freeze dry these, I like to just be able to pull them out, rehydrate them, or throw them into a recipe, and I don't have to do any chopping or whatever, and it just makes it so much faster when you go to use them. On these sweet potatoes, a lot of people will peel them, but you're really missing out on a lot of the nutrition if you do that. So I just take the ends off of them, I scrub them really well, and I pick any funky things off of them, and then I'm just going to dice them. Or you can cube them also. Okay, so here our water is a rolling boil now. We're just going to give them just a quick bath couple minutes will do. You can cook them all the way too if you like. Depends what you're going to use them for in the future. So all you really need to do to prevent or at least slow down the coronavirus is do everything that your mom told you to do when you were a kid. Eat your vegetables, cover your mouth when you cough, wash your hands, and click subscribe to Retired at 40. Click the bell to get notifications. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and don't forget to join the Facebook group. All right, let's get these carrots in for a quick dip, and we'll be ready to go onto the trays. All right, we've got our veggies, we've got our broccoli, we've got our sweet potatoes and our carrots. Let's do some beans and some legumes. So I've already cooked my bonzo beans and put them in the deep freeze, so I'll just stick them back in the deep freeze with the rest of this stuff. Next I'm gonna do the edamame, and these are just the pre-packaged ones. I'm gonna throw them in the microwave for a quick second, and then I'm gonna have to shell them. So while we're waiting for those to be done, I'm gonna do my diced tomatoes, and I'm just gonna leave all the juice and stuff in the can. Try not to make a gigantic mess. The cool thing about tomatoes is you can powder them. You can do so much. You can leave them in chunks like this. You can powder them. You can make a paste out of them. And I'm gonna do an entire tray of just diced tomatoes. So if you've never heard of an edamame, basically what it is an immature soybean. So if they look vaguely familiar, you've probably seen them on a soybean plant, because that's what they are. They're just not fully developed, they're very tender. And you can get these so they're already shelled. They basically look like a lima bean when they come out, but they taste way better than lima beans. So I'm gonna let these cool down a little bit before I shell them all, and I'm not gonna bore you with my shelling because I'll be here for a long time, but you can actually buy them shelled as well. All right, so my black beans are rinsed and cooked already, and I know I said I was gonna deep freeze these, but it's been a while since I've actually done a freeze cycle in the freeze dryer, and I kind of just want to change it up, see what kind of a difference it makes. It's been so long since I've done it, and I'll see if it takes longer than it normally would. I do think I'm going to add some time because these tomatoes are pretty watery, but I want to keep that watery stuff because it'll dry into almost a powder. So kind of depending on what you're going to use them for, I like to actually have that powder as well. All right, so I'm going to show you how to adjust your dry times if you've never done it before. And if you join that Facebook group, I've actually got a download that you can download my dry time sheet. It kind of goes over the basics of the most common freeze-dried food that you would run across. Okay, so here is your home screen, and if you have an older or a newer version, it might differ just a little bit from this, but you want to go to Customize, and then you're going to go to Adjust Cycle Times. Final dry, I'm going to do 10 hours. And that's only just because we have quite a bit of a high liquid content, and my trays are just jammed full right now. So you click done on that. I'm going to click start, and then on this round I'm going to click not frozen. I'll see you guys in a little bit. So it's been about 27 hours. We're not even in the final dry yet, but in order to get this video out to you as soon as I can, I'm going to cut this a little bit short. And I want you just to take my word that all of these foods do really, really well for your freeze-dry stockpile, especially in an emergency state. They're inexpensive, they give you lots of nutrition, and they're going to give you the best bang for your buck. So not only are you going to be able to get a lot more quantity of this type of food, but you're going to be able to rehydrate these foods very quickly. Most of these foods can be rehydrated in a matter of a minute or less, just in some hot water. You can add them to soups or stews. You can just throw them together with other freeze-dried foods and make a soup or a stew. So the benefits you're going to get from these foods are pretty unmatched. So for those of you that are watching this and you don't have a freeze dryer yet, hopefully you can take the state of emergency and watch this video, and you can see all the benefits of freeze drying, and you can go to the link below, you can check out Harvest Right, you can see what they have to offer, see what things cost. And if you want to join the Facebook group and you're not a freeze dryer, you can at least get a lot of people's opinions and successes and failures. So given the current state of everything, I hope the country can actually turn this into a positive. Everyone can come together, help their neighbors, help a friend, help your family, and we'll all pull through if everyone sticks together and helps each other out. In the meantime, this is Retired at 40. Remember to live life simple Get to freeze drying right now. We'll catch you next week.